It's about that time again, folks. About that time again. Just before noontime Eastern on Friday morning, almost Friday afternoon. Happy Friday to you guys and gals. Welcome back. You know what time it is. Time for our recap here. Now, before we talk about all the trades we took today, and today was one of those days where we weren't quite sure how many trades we'd get. We got kind of lucky getting a nice big winner on the Russell today. Luck obviously favors the prepared, and we were prepared for this price action this morning on Friday morning. Now, Friday morning's a great example of a day that is begging you to lose your money. Fridays, oh boy, I think back in the beginning of my career, and a Friday was almost a guaranteed day for me to give back my money for the week. Fridays can be your best friend or they can be your worst enemy. And one of the things that really made us successful today on a Friday morning, and what felt like a summertime Friday, that's for sure. I hate to use that as an excuse, but it definitely felt like a summertime Friday today. We know when we have these Friday mornings, they've got windows of opportunity. Well, what was our success today? Our success today was understanding those windows. Our success today was completely the result of us being prepared for a Friday morning. Why were we so prepared? Because we do the same thing every single day. And by doing this consistently, by following a trading plan, the same trading plan every day the same way, doing things with consistency allows me to build momentum in my learning. It makes me better little bits every day. And so every Friday we get better. And this Friday we came in and we went through the exact same routine we always do on a Friday morning. And our routine on a Friday morning is ultimately all based on getting in early, being prepared for anything, because we know anything can happen on a Friday, but at the same time, be prepared to get out of those trades early, because a Friday, well, you and I want to get out of our office, right? Don't we want to get our weekend started? The same reason why everybody else wants to get the weekend started early is the same reason why a Friday shuts down early. You're also going to hear from Obama. You'll usually hear from the White House here in the U.S. sometime in the late morning on Friday. So we know, get in early, be ready, but be disciplined not to overtrade at the end of the morning. Now, again, be careful with your risk capital out there. Our success is all because of our trading plans. If you're a guest right now, we haven't provided you with a trading plan. And if you're not trading with a plan right now, I highly encourage you to be very careful with your risk capital, because ultimately, trading without a plan is like, being on the ocean in a boat without a rudder. You're going to be tossed around wherever the next guru tells you to go, or if the next indicator is coming out. It's not the way to be a professional trader. Okay, so now you know the risks. Now you know what we're dealing with. We had to deal with a Friday morning. Now, we're never scared of a Friday morning, but this Friday was a little bit scary, wasn't it? The first thing we saw this morning was market personality. Market personality was really sloppy today, really sloppy. So we begin this morning, 8:30 major news. 9 o'clock, crude oil opens up. 9:30 U.S. Open. Okay, the news that came out of the CAD, I thought was bullish at 8:30 this morning. We had CAD news today at 8:30. We had U.S. news at 8:30. I consider that to be bullish news, but it didn't change a thing. We had no market personality. So a Friday morning without a lot of market personality, we know to be ready, because at any minute we may get that. And what we had speculated was, since we didn't get anything before 9:30, we immediately started thinking it's going to be 9:30 till 10:45. Usually, if there's nothing else that goes on a Friday morning, at least from 9:30 till 10:15, 10:30 will usually be good enough. So we didn't get into the pre-market. That's okay. 9:30 rolls around, and here we are now. Looking at the charts right now, the first thing we saw on crude oil was price at 9:30 had been really chopping around. And so at 9:30, we found this wedge. It had been chopping around on crude. One thing we talked about earlier with a couple members today was the fact that we had higher lows on this 13 and 21 range charts. So higher lows are always going to be a big clue, right? And then once the crude broke above the previous low of day, we decided to get long. So you got higher lows as crude fails to go lower. And when it breaks above the previous low of day, that's when I know, get ready for price to go higher here. You can also see we found a bull channel. Now, this bull channel we didn't find until later on in the process, but of course the bull channel was made twice. Actually, there was a bull channel initially, and then we made a new, I guess more bullish bull channel, right? A little bit stronger move up, and again we started buying pullbacks. Now, here's what happened on crude. Crude was actually a really good example today. The first trade we call was a fast track on crude. I gave everyone entry, stop, and target, and we didn't get much out of it, right? Got about plus 7, 8 ticks out of it. First trade on crude oil was a winner, not by much. Again, you're going to see crude. We're going to go 3 crude trades, long, long, long. Why were we buying on crude with such sloppy personality? Bull channel. Okay, buyers, of course, in charge above the previous low of day. And then there's this little thing we call the dollar index. If you recall, the dollar this morning was at the highs of the wedge, and we were expecting the dollar to fall. The exact same reason why we're expecting the Russell to go higher, the euro to go higher, and gold to go higher. So the dollar gave us a big clue that we probably would be okay buying on crude. Again, higher lows, bull channel, above the previous low.